Ladies and gentlemen, my name is DREDD BREAD. I had to wake up my model because he died. Okay, so a couple of things. So the very last card that I showed off for the Japanese version of Magical Girl the Duel, also known as Caster Chronicles, is worth 399 US for lightly used. Because this is a factory sealed, a card that just came out of a factory sealed pack, it's about $400+ dude. Like, holy hell. And it's the Japanese version too, which goes for a lot more than the US version. But we'll get into that 1 minute. I need to fix something because I hate when my model does this. I have to fix it every time. Every time I have to fix it, man. And I never can remember under what settings it's at. There we go. No. There we go. Why? Am I looking the right way? Okay, so let's look this way. Let's see. Nope. That is the wrong. Apparently, I'm looking the wrong way. Am I looking still the wrong way? No, I'm looking the right way. Okay, I'm looking the right way. Okay. But ladies and oh my god, my voice. But ladies and gentlemen, my name is DREDD BREAD. Hello, and welcome. We're going to be doing some late night rambles. So I just got into Caster, Caster Chronicles, or Magical Girl the Duel, also known as Treasure Box. I picked up four starters. They were about $3.99 each ish, if I remember the price correct. What's going on? This is my. Okay, once YouTube wants me to redo my bitrate, but my bitrate is fine. It's dandy. It's okay. We're not doing that. Again, like I said, I just got into Caster Chronicles. They're very, very beautiful cards. The art was done by some very amazing artists that are well known in Japan. And I'm on hunt for more of the cards because they're really pretty. I did not realize they were a product of Force of Will, the US versions. So I found some US starter decks and stuff, and I found out the starter decks are censored, which is a shame. Because the cards that I had, like the one that I was kind of worried about, I might get in trouble on Twitch. I did not get in trouble on Twitch. And censorship is just overall funny and kind of pointless to me and a lot of people. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But why am I talking about Caster Chronicles? Why am I doing this late night stream? I just found out that Caster Chronicles is getting a English kind of revival. From some guys who I've watched a little bit of their YouTube channel, and they seem really passionate about it, but I have concerns, other people have concerns. Even though I'm relatively new, I think my concerns are still valid, especially from some of the other stuff that I was reading on Reddit as well. Because usually in this day and age, when something gets revived, especially if it is from Japan, things happen, right? We've seen this with anime, we've seen this with video games. It just not good things happen. Like, I mean, and this is nothing new. I'm older than most of you guys, but back in the day, right, when the original Castlevanias came out for the original Nintendo, not the Nintendo 64 or anything like that, it was censored a little bit for the US release, right? So games have been censored in that way, but lately in modern time, people want to throw in, especially with anime, they want to throw in their political opinion, and they try to ruin the dubs. They don't respect the original, right? So my concern for this is, are they going to respect the original? Is the art still going to hold up the same? Because from looking at these guys' art and their other card games, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's not my cup of tea, and it's not the worst, but it's not the greatest. We're gonna take a look. We're gonna take a gander, see what they're gonna plan on do with it. The rule of thumb is, if it's not broke, Don't change it. I'm actually going to move my model over because despite being fixed, he keeps looking over that way. There we go. There we go. I don't know why he's looking the wrong. I can never get him to look the right way. I can never get him to look the right way. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, Chet. But anyway, we're gonna be taking a gander at this. So, what is Caster? God, I can't speak tonight. What is Caster Chronicles? The Caster Chronicles is a card game where players take on the role of a witch, also known as a caster. Battle it out with other witches and casters with something dimension. I think that's ninth dimension. Using cards to summon familiars, servants, call on your magical caster allies to aid you, cast powerful spells, and alter the very state of the whatever that symbol is. The 11th, the nth dimension itself, destroy all 7 orbs, protecting your opponent to win. Our story follows. Oh God, I'm gonna screw this name up. Tsubasa Koga and her adventures as a witch in training at the Morning Star Academy, the best magical academy in Japan. She and her friends in the 49th class will meet many friends and rivals from all over. The 50th class of the Morning Star Academy rival students from Jason Academy and threats from the whatever dimension itself. Who knows how many? Who knows? Maybe during her adventure she'll end up joining the deck. Have fun, caster. This is original artwork here. This, I don't think is original artwork. This looks kind of traced. Maybe. I mean, I'm not saying that it is traced, but there's big difference between this artwork up here and this artwork down here. And again, that's concerns that other people have is the artwork is not going to hold up. That it's going to look funny with if they reprint old cards with new cards, that it's just going to clash. So that is a valid concern. Again, I'm not trying to knock these guys for what they're doing. I think it's good to bring back stuff as long as you do it faithfully, as long as you're not trying to throw in modern ideology and politics into it, and you just keep it for the entertainment and nostalgia value that it is, and you're not trying to make it something it's not. Like, I don't know, some weird statement about something rather that really doesn't have anything to do with the game. Where can I play Caster Chronicles? The new Caster Chronicle game products will be released June 18th, 2026. The products will be available to pick up and play at Origin Games Fair in Columbus, Ohio. Will be holding launch events where you can play with the brand new cards during the convention. You'll be able to order the game online through speedorbgames.com. Sorry if I said that wrong, guys. And Kickstarter. There will be no difference between the products offered at the Speedrobo Games official website and Origins Game Fair, or through the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter will start taking pre-orders in April 2026 and run until the end of Origins Game Fair 2026. Additionally, if you want to play right now, we have a tabletop simulator mod ready to go. That's how I found out about these guys, was through Tabletop Simulator, because I was checking out to see if I could look at the other different cards and things like that, because the cards that I've been able to find have only been the cards that are on sale. I haven't really found a whole lot of the Japanese cards so far. Additionally, if you want to play right now, okay, yep. Furthermore, you can purchase demo decks, print them yourselves free by going to this link coming soon. All right, so this is more of the original art here. What's new and different with the products? This is what some people are a little bit worried about. I've never played the original game. But again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. If something was broken and they did fix it, that's good. That's kudos. We'll find out. We'll find out what they did. The answer is both and a lot, and not much at the same time. While this is a fresh start for the classic Chronicles and essentially a reboot, the game will not see significant changes at all. Here are the changes. Both players will start with a caster token and play regardless of who goes first. The caster token works exactly like the coin did in the previous trading card game. That is to help balance first move advantage and to help make the game more immersive, as the caster token is meant to represent the player themselves as a caster in the magical duel. We encourage players to draw themselves into the blank caster tokens that will be included in the duel products. Additionally, players can design and print their own caster tokens using the online tool. Ooh. So this is, I have mixed feelings about this. Like, cool, you get a token, but at the same time, games are meant to be entertainment, and something that a lot of modern games have, that I have an issue with, and a lot of people have an issue with, is self-inserting yourself into the game. That creates problems, especially with role-playing games. We see that in D&D, where people use the groups as therapists, and if they don't get their way, it becomes a big problem. I don't really know how. I don't know how to word this, but because I'm reading this here and there, and I'm not the bestest thinker, but it, it's okay. It's okay as long as it doesn't get abused in a way where people will use it as a way to bully and harass other people. I don't think that's going to be an issue, but I don't know. The void element is now a dedicated element that refers to a specific symbol and the cards with it. Cards that are face down do not produce void aether and only produce aether of no element. This non-elemental aether can be used to pay for one required point of void aether needed to play void cards. You can no longer level up your caster by placing them down on top of your cards in the caster zone. This prevents the good stuff pile decks from occurring as easily. You must now level up your higher level casters on casters that share the same name. Caster cards will now check for subname traits instead of just a name when checking the unique status. This means that you may have two casters of the same name in field as long as those two casters have different subnames and or traits. Okay. I'm joking. Again, I haven't played the original game. Like I said, I just got into collecting the cards not that long ago. Some of this might have been like translation issues or errors with the English version. So maybe that's what they fixed. I don't know. Yeah. Outside of gameplay, there are a few other changes in overall products that you can expect. When it comes to visuals, you'll notice that there is now our company logo at the bottom of every card. We'll be altering the borders slightly. These alterations include barrier cards getting a distinct card border to make them stand out when compared to conjure cards. Caster cards will be getting a dedicated field on their card for their traits. Okay. Where previous casters had traits placed in text bubbles that were previously reserved for keywords, we'll be introducing the element symbols in the card text when the elements are referenced to make it easier for players to tell what the element is what. I mean, these are the element right here, right? So these are the elements that I've noticed. Draw a card. I'm just reading this. Whenever you have another allied suite enters the field, search your deck for suites. Reveal that. Yeah, I don't know about some of these changes, bosses. Again, I haven't played the game, but I'm just gonna keep my thoughts to myself. Okay, where were we? In regards to project design, the casters will no longer be okay. In regards to product design, the Caster Chronicle card game will no longer be a traditional card game. Instead, we are moving forward towards a more expandable card game like Route. This method has proven to be very successful with other revived card games in the past, such as Android Netrunner, and we believe it to be the correct direction for forward for the game. This direction will allow us to put greater emphasis on gameplay at its far more affordable price point, and casual entry will allow us to expand the game to all new audiences for easier than if it was a trading card game. Okay, so again, if something's not broke, don't fix it. I understand you guys need to make a profit. However, it's very, very important to understand once you make a game that make it for everybody, it's going to become a game for nobody. The best example to look at that right now is Warhammer 40k. Warhammer 40k was very, very niche. It is now becoming mainstream, and it is very quickly losing its identity. It's just starting to become this generic sci-fi setting. It is no longer grimdark. People will probably say, "Oh, Dread, you don't know what you're talking about." It just isn't, man. It's become this dark fantasy sci-fi hero setting that's not truly grimdark anymore. It's one of the reasons why I really don't collect or why I haven't really made purchases anymore from it, because the company decided to pander to a main audience. The people that used to be in the company that love the hobby for what it is are long gone. So that is something that needs to be carefully done and considered. I know you want to get new blood into this. I know you want to maximize sales, but fundamentally you don't want to lose Caster Chronicles for what it is. I haven't played Android Netrunner, so I can't really comment on that. Making expansions for it, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, but you also have to remember, and maybe we'll talk about this later, but people collect these cards because they're beautiful cards, and some really well-known Japanese artists worked on the designs for these cards. Okay, the main product for Caster Chronicle. The main products for these Caster Chronicle card games will be dual decks expansion packs. Okay, we've read that. These will be new products featuring new mixes of cards and not straight reprints of old products. Okay, so that right there is a double-edged blade right there, because you're gonna get people that are looking for the old products that they were never able to get to. And that's gonna turn people away. That's gonna turn some people away right there. Dual decks are two pre-constructed decks in one product. This is meant to be an easy way for two players for joining the Caster Chronicles right away. Expansion packs will be similar to booster packs. However, these packs will be more like Jumpstart. Each set will have 8 possible clusters of 5 cards to collect. Each cluster will be one single element and always the same. I don't like that. No. There will also be foil cards in each pack that are randomized and collectible versions of the cards that are easily attainable in non. So the Japanese packs that I got were not promotional cards. They were for the regular game, and they were all holographic. We understand that this is a very large group of fans that enjoyed collecting card games in the game, collecting the cast. We understand that a large group of fans that enjoyed collecting the caster cards in the game instead of focusing on the play of the game. We do not plan to let you down either. We think you will join the expansion pack opening, experiencing collecting all the variants of the different editions of the caster cards. I think you already done goofed up a little bit. I think you should not throw, unless I'm reading this wrong, because it is very late at night. I had to wait very late in night to start streaming. Right there. I don't, that, no. No. That is a no. That is, And the fact that you're going to have I don't know how the English version is, but from the Japanese cards version, from the Japanese version of the cards that I have, and from what I've seen, all of the Japanese cards are holographic. Um, and that just makes you feel good, whether or not if it's a rare or not. I mean, they're very very pretty cards. So this feels to me this feels I don't know if this was their intent, but to me this feels very much like they just want to get people in who've played the game, and they don't want people in who just want to collect the cards. Will you re-release the old cards? Yes, the new caster card game will start off by reprinting old cards or remixing them into new product. You can expect slight changes to how some of the cards may play. We will also be translating and releasing the cards that were previously only in Japanese edition of the game. They will give what are effectively all new cards to old fans to collect and enjoy. To top it off, we will be doing a new alternative arts for existing cards, and eventually be creating new cards exclusive to this version of Caster Chronicles. Our first priority will be really re-releasing old cards with updates. Following that, we'll translate the unreleased cards. Finally, after all of that, we'll begin to work on totally original cards. This will be a long process, so we thank you for being kind and understanding. Ooh. Okay, so I understand you're probably not going to be able to get the original Japanese artists. I get that. And I get what you're trying to do. You're going to bring in people with the older cards, but some people are going to see this as a bait and switch. They're going to see the old cards, they're going to start collecting the old cards, and then once the new cards start coming out and the new cards art doesn't match the old cards, that's when you're going to start losing people, and that could really, really hurt you in the long run. Players new and old will be able to relive exciting battles with original Caster Chronicles TGC while enjoying all the new content as well. This looks like maybe original art. I don't know. Yes, the will be blah, blah, blah. God, I can't speak tonight. Will you be able to play with my old cards? Yes, the last thing at Speed Robo Games we want to invalidate is the collection of cards of our dedicated fans. Our CEO is a huge fan who will see his binder you should see his binder sometimes it's loaded. The dude does talk about all the old cards and how excited he was. Again, there are concerns of I don't know where I was going. My brain just farted. Again, I guess the concerns that I have are still valid, and with some of the stuff that I read, it's very much a mixed bag, and it's not sitting good with me. It's not sitting good with me. I just found some older cards and stuff that I just ordered. And I found some starter decks and stuff too. Standard format. This format will be the default way to play Caster Chronicles moving forward. In standard format, only cards that have been printed with the Speed Robo Games paint swap at the bottom will be legal to play. However, if you have the... Okay, so... All right. Hold on one sec, chat. So I understand what they're doing, but they started to do this in about 8th edition in Warhammer 40k. And eventually what ended up happening is they ended up taking out whole flipping models in just decimating entire factions. Because if the model didn't have rules for it, you couldn't use it, even if you had the model. So if you have older cards, what they're saying is you won't be able to play that card if it doesn't have their logo on it, which I understand for like league tournament purposes and whatnot, because they're going to be changing up some of the rules. But how long is it just going to stay for like the league professional competitive play until it basically they say, well, you guys have the old cards anymore. You can't use that. You have to buy our new cards. You have to use the new cards only. Because that's what happened with that's literally what happened with Warhammer 40k. Uh, People aren't happy about it to this day because again, there are models that people have had for a very long time that they were able to use in competitive play as in narrative play, and now you can't use them in competitive play or narrative play. So what's ooh, and, so, so that's a massive concern. You can also bring a copy of a new card or just out of print to show the card is legal with extra text, if any. Okay, when you play the old version of the card, show the new copy to the opponent to prove it's a legal card standard format. Products of the Caster Chronicles, okay, are very hard to obtain these days, and we want new players to feel comfortable in joining in with only new products. We feel that the standard format is the way to do that. So I kind of understand why they're doing this, but at the same time, this is very much GW vibes right here. Alumni format. The alumni format is all cards. All the cards printing are legal and are texted as is. All right. Erratas are off the table. Enjoy the full power of your card. Okay, so this is standard format to me is pretty much competitive play. An alumni format is narrative play, to put it simply. But again, GW, what they did, they had something like this, right? Competitive play with not older cards, with older models and stuff that you could use. And then around 8th edition, 9th edition, current edition, if the model doesn't have rules for it, you can't use it in narrative play. I'm not trying to bash these guys. I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just trying to be a little bit realistic here with things that I've seen in other hobbies and how they work and how they don't work. We at Speed Robo Games are no strangers to running events, hosting tournaments, and supporting game stores. Let's talk about all our plans for 3. Okay, events will be holding launch at Origins Game Fair 2026. There will be demo events, learn to play, promo cards, promotional giveaways, blah, 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 blah. Tournaments and additional, okay. This is just talking about the different tournaments and their sport pages. I'm a content creator. How do I get involved? Welcome aboard. We're happy to have you here and cannot thank you enough for interest in our game. We work closely with content creators of all sizes and interests. Please check out this page and email us if you think you're a good fit. We'll make sure to get you up with demos and copies of products of the review. Okay? So if you guys are really diehard content creators and you want to get in contact with them, you can. I probably just shut myself out by having concerns and by saying some stuff. All right. What happened to the old comics and other media? Don't worry, we've managed to recover most of the supplementary media for the Caster Chronicles, despite the original website going down. We will be making sure to archive and preserve as much content as we can. In fact, we are already posting the comics. We are posting the original and all the new translations for everyone to enjoy. Game preservation is very important to us at Speed Robo Games, and that is a major motive for us picking up the Caster Chronicles. This is a very good thing. This is a very good thing. So far, this has been kind of a mixed bag for me, with concerns and whatnot. Mainly because my experiences with different games being revived and things like that, it has not gone good. But kudos for them for preserving it. I really hope when they say that they're preserving it, they're going to preserve it, and they're going to do a one-on-one accurate translations of the cards. Because I've seen time and time again where that is not the case, especially with like older anime and older video games and things of that nature, where the translations are completely wrong and off, and when that is posted about and talked about, they basically tell you to go eat grass, to go get bented, things like that. We've made some all wait we've even made some all new media for the game. For example, you can look here, front personality, the where you belong. I won't click on that right now. How can I stay up to date? This is another big concern, is changing the artwork, because I know for a fact they're probably not going to be able to get the original artists on board, and if they do, it might just be some for very special cards. Okay, so this is basically how you can keep in touch with them. You can subscribe to their mailing list, not their marrying list. I don't know why you want to marry these guys. Instagram, Twitter, Discord, yada, yada, yada. We'll be changing the artwork. So a lot of original fans were not happy with the censorship art, because the art was already censored in a way in the Japanese version that, wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. It wasn't too revealing. It wasn't horrible. It was just fan service, man. And I don't understand why fan service is one of those things where it's bad. It's no secret, in Caster Chronicles, TGG's first run, and many of the cards' arts were edited. We'll be continuing and keeping the censorship policy in the mainline English productions. All right, let's read this part before I give my 2 cents. However, collectors need not worry. Part of a robust store plan is to release the original unedited. Okay, thank you. Unedited artworks and promotional cards. Lost art cards will be sent to all participating store partners to use as all right. Promotional cards. These will be sent to be partners stores to be used as tournament prizes, okay, or purchase incentives. However, else the store wishes to distribute them to the players. If you as a player and collector wish to get your hand on the original Japanese artwork for the first time ever, make sure you contact your local store. Tell them to reach out here and we'll make sure to get... Okay, so boo. Boo, very boo on this. So you're going to be releasing the original unedited art cards only as prizes or as the store sees fit. That no. Nope. That is all right. Nope. Who are Speed Rebel Games? Speed Rebel is a long-established and prolific entity in tabletop gaming space. Our company does everything from developing to menu. Okay, blah 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 blah. So this contradicts exactly where they said that they were all about preserving the game. Because if you're going to preserve the game should not be censored, and it should not be a pain in the ass to get the uncensored cards. This whole thing has just been a mixed bag, but that just killed it for me. I don't know if giving these guys the license for this game was the best way to go. I really don't think so. I'm probably going to get hate for this video. I really don't care for this VOD. I don't think these guys were the best guys to do it. I mean, you say you love the game, you say you want to preserve the game, but you're going to make changes to the game, which some of the changes, I can't really say because I haven't really played the game, but some of the changes that they're making, from what I read, is very much in line of like GW thinking, and that just rubs me the wrong way. I understand why they're doing that, but I guarantee you what's going to happen is this is going to come out. They're going to do reprints of the old cards, and then they're going to start doing their own stuff, and then they're going to stop doing the reprints of the old cards and only sell their new cards. I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen. And seeing the art that their other card games have, again, it's not the greatest art, it's not the most worst art, but I mean, it's somewhere in between meh and really bad, like meh and bad. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's very few companies that actually do one-on-one game preservations. Lion's Wing is one of them. They're doing the Wereblade stuff. That's why I backed them, because I've seen some of their other Japanese role-playing games that they've kind of preserved, and they did an accurate one-on-one translations, and they kept the game as the game is intended to be. I'm not getting that with this company. I'm getting we got this because we liked it, but there are certain things that we want to change because we feel that they need to be changed. But we're doing it for preservation, and I don't know. I just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? I just nope. I kind of had hopes for this. I was hoping that it was going to be good, and it's not sitting right with me, chat. It's not sitting right with me. I hope you guys do well, but this is something I'm probably not going to be getting into. I think I'm just going to be like just collecting the older cards. And I'm just going to be collecting the older cards. That's all I'm going to do. Is I'm going to go and I'm going to hunt for the older 2018, 2019 cards, especially the Japanese cards, and I'll keep with that. I wish you guys the best of luck. I hope your Kickstarter does well. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. Anyway, I'm sorry if I'm being a negative Nancy, but this was just too much of a mixed bag and not what I was hoping for. Not what I was hoping for at all. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dreads of Breads, and that has been enough for this midnight ramble. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Until next time, bye-bye.